What's up, guys? Welcome to a boom breakdown. Boom time, baby. We're gonna break down, talk about UFC 231 coming up. So the weigh-ins this morning. It's good to see Max Holloway make weight. Looked, healthy doing it, at least, as of what people were speculating about. It was nice to see that. Um, let's get ahead here and look at the card. I mean, obviously, really excited to see. This matchup's amazing. This 145-pound fight is one of the best featherweight fights in a long time, and it's two young guys in their prime with high-level skills that sometimes you don't see that matchup where guys are in their prime and it's the perfect timing where they're fighting each other to see who really is the best. Sometimes it's a person who's fading away towards the end of his run, and it's a young lion coming up and taking that title. But this is an amazing, exciting fight. Two guys that could finish the fight anywhere, really. And they're both finishers. They're both killers, So it's exciting to see how it's going to play out. Let's see what we got here. I want to see what fight I want to start with first. Usually I don't go through every single fight, but usually I just choose a couple from the prelims and I go through the main card and make my picks. But you guys can give me some feedback. Let me know if you have any questions, fan questions, whatever you want to do. I'm fighting December 29th in Vegas. I'm excited to get back in there after missing out on New York. Was kind of devastating, but we're going to get back in there, get redemption, and I can't wait. Vegas is nice. I haven't been to the Performance Institute yet, so I'm excited for that. Be able to utilize all the stuff they have there, recovery, weight cutting, food, diet, all that good stuff. So look forward to that. Let's see. The early prelims. Man, I'm on this new UFC website. This thing it's kind of confusing right now for me. I'm not really big into it. I like the old website a lot more. Seemed more simple. So I'm trying to look for the schedule and the fight lineup, and I don't know. It doesn't seem to be working too smooth right now, but let's see. See what we got here. I mean, we could talk about the main event first, really. Holloway versus Ortega. Holloway, very smart fighter on the feet, really good with range control and his expenditure of his energy when he wants to pull the trigger and throw high volume, high power shots, and when he wants to just touch you up and kind of make you guess. His striking has improved immensely over the years, and his confidence as well. Phone's going off. Fuck him. Don't know that number. But Holloway coming up. A guy who latches onto crazy submissions out of nowhere, whether it's earlier in the fight, later in the fight. He's a slower starter, so usually he doesn't come out too crazy on the feet. And he stays really calm, which is kind of like his personality. He stays really calm throughout. And I think that helps him a lot in fights because he's able to endure taking a little bit of damage early on and kind of feeling out a guy and seeing what he's dealing with, and then he moves on from there and starts to let loose and let things come out. And you just got to watch that neck, man. That guy can latch onto that neck standing up, or he can pull guard, or whatever it is. If he gets in a clinch position, he's pretty dangerous about grabbing onto you. So Max Holloway's not a guy that's going to just sit there and kind of clinch up and get engaged in that. I feel like there's not a chance Max Holloway's going to shoot a takedown in this fight. I think he's going to win the earlier rounds with a lot of point striking and, utilizing his jab and his stance switching. And, he's going to throw off Ortega early on. And I think what's key is that Max kind of stays on that throughout the fight and picks up the momentum as he goes with the amount of variety and you know, the amount of volume that he's throwing at Ortega. But don't sleep on Ortega's striking, man. Not many, if any, people are really finishing Frankie Edgar with one-shot punches like that. So that was really impressive. That really set the division on alert when it comes to Ortega's striking and his power, because you know, you think he's a jiu-jitsu guy, and then all of a sudden this guy's boxing is getting better and better and better, working with his coach, and he's got fast hands, and he throws big uppercuts and big hooks, and once you start to kind of piss him off a little bit, which he stays calm, but you could tell he starts getting hit a little bit, he starts coming alive as the fight goes on, and that's when Ortega becomes more dangerous, when the fight gets more wild, and he seizes the moment under chaos. You know, he's really good at that. And I think that's a testament to his calmness throughout the chaos. Ortega is, in my opinion, going to have to latch on to something, catch a hard shot somewhere, a big uppercut, latch onto a neck, an arm, something, catch a triangle, maybe pull guard if he has to. Maybe Holloway hurts him with a shot and Ortega's on the ground. Holloway likes to follow up and finish with ground and pound, and that can give Ortega an opportunity to latch onto something if he's still with it. You know, there's many different avenues this fight can go down, but I truly just don't see it going to the ground, because Holloway doesn't really wrestle and shoot in on guys to take him down. His striking is so high level that he doesn't need to, and his takedown defense is amazing that he can just keep the fight where he wants to, which is in the striking. And Ortega's not a guy that really shoots on anybody either. I mean, he has amazing jiu-jitsu, but he's confident in his striking too. So I think that does benefit Max in this fight, because we're not going to see Ortega going in there looking to chain wrestle or fight like a Khabib Nurmagomedov, where he's pressuring you the whole time trying to take you down. That's a different style matchup. This matchup favors Max in a way where it's most likely going to take place on the feet, and he just has to be careful to not let Ortega land a big uppercut or a big hook. Otherwise, I think Max has the more precise striking, the higher volume, the better variety, and he's going to be pressuring in his face, and he's good at controlling that range. So if he could frustrate Ortega early and kind of build with that momentum and take over, I think Holloway is going to come out with a decision win, at least win 3 of the 5 rounds, maybe even 4. I think the striking is going to be a little bit too much. Of course, it's always possible for Ortega to latch onto something, but I just don't see it in this fight. I see Holloway coming in and putting on a striking display and really making Ortega have to fight his fight and frustrating him with the amount of times he's going to tag him up with these punches. So I'm going to go with Max by decision on this fight. Next up, we got the co-main event. Joanna versus Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina coming down, Joanna coming up. I don't know if the size is going to play a big role. I do see that Valentina has been physically imposing in fights before, and that's been at bantamweight. So she definitely has some strength and explosion to her, and she seems like a really explosive woman. And the striking is going to be fairly evenly matched, but Valentina has those wins over her in Muay Thai, and I think sometimes that could play a big role mentally. You know, you're going into a fight against someone you lost to 3 times. If the fight's standing up, I mean, Valentina has the advantage. She's beat her in striking matches before. I think Joanna is going to have to really try to mix it up and try to throw a lot of volume out there. Maybe not even try to touch Valentina with it, but just be a little bit more active than her. Try to win by points a little bit, and then as she gets more comfortable, maybe she can land the harder shots and maybe clinch up and work those elbows and those knees in the clinch. You know, the thing is with Valentina is she's good in the clinch too, and if she's more physically imposing, a stronger woman, she might be able to take Joanna down in the clinch and work some ground and pound. She's shown really good skills with passing guard and that mounted crucifix type position where she can land some elbows and some ground and pound and finish fights there. So Joanna's got to watch out for that with positioning. She can't end up on bottom underneath Valentina where maybe she holds the strength advantage and outpositions Joanna and gets that ground and pound finish. But striking wise, I'm really excited to see this fight play out, because I feel like both of them, obviously that's where their strongest suits are. And Joanna has to deal with the past of, man, I lost to this girl striking 3 times. What can I do different to try to change that? And Valentina's coming in like, yeah, let's do this. Let's strike. Because you know what happened the last 3 times we did that, you lost. So I think that gives Valentina the edge, man. This game is a big mental game sometimes. And I think Valentina really has that edge going in here. And I could see her winning by decision or even hurting Joanna with a more powerful strike, maybe a head kick, maybe a left hand, something that drops her and then finishes her off on the ground. We'll see. But if I had to make a pick, I think Shevchenko is going to take it by decision. Moving along here. Alex Cowboy Oliveira versus Gunnar Nelson. Man, Nelson looked fucking shredded today. Looks like that guy's been lifting weights or who the hell knows what's going on. But his body completely changed. He looks way more dense, more muscular. And who knows, man, if that plays a role or if that hurts you. But he says he feels really good. But his style of jiu-jitsu is a really technical style. Really good top game, great passing. And we'll see if the strength plays into his role in this fight. Alex Cowboy Oliveira is a wild man in there. He likes to come forward and throw wild shots. He leaves himself open when he does so, but he's also very dangerous in there. And he's got very good jiu-jitsu too. Sorry, I fucking sparred this morning. My neck's tight, but we're going to get through it. We're going to do some neck stretches through it. But I think this fight's a case Gunnar Nelson has to get inside, get the clinch, get a takedown, try to overwhelm Cowboy on top, and try to pass guard, get a submission. I really don't see how Gunnar Nelson would win the striking battle unless he just outpoints him with that karate style, kind of makes Oliveira miss and touches him up with the speed and the karate style. But I think Cowboy Oliveira's got the more dangerous, more powerful strikes. And if he starts landing, we saw Gunnar Nelson lose that last fight by strikes. So, he did get eye poked in that fight. So who knows if that was part of the beginning to the end. But he lost by TKO. So got to watch out for the power of Oliveira and the durability. The guy stays in there throughout the whole fight, stays dangerous through 3. But I think Gunnar Nelson looks positive, looks fresh, looks really strong right now. And I could see him getting a submission win. I could see him getting the fight to the ground, getting that pass, and finding a submission within the second and third round. Next up, Kyle Bochniak, Hakeem Dawodu. I don't know how to say his last name, but that guy was a savage on the Contender Series, but no more than a savage than Kyle Bochniak was. He fought Zabit. Nobody wanted to fight him. The guy came forward. I was at that fight. I was really impressed with his durability and his hunger. He was a lion in there. He wanted that shit. He was coming forward. He was in his face, taking shots, kept moving forward, delivering his own shots. He was never out of that fight. He was just a little bit out-technicaled by... out-technical, can you say that? He was out-teched by Zabit in certain areas, but he showed a lot of heart in that fight, a lot of durability. Hakeem shows a lot of strength with his cool, calm collectedness in there, and he's got a lot of power too. So I'm looking forward to this fight. Kyle Bochniak has the more experience in the cage, and I think his stock went really high up after that fight, even though he lost. And I think he's riding some momentum with that, some confidence, and I think he's going to get the job done by decision. He mixes it up really well. He throws a lot of high volume. He comes forward, and I think that's going to impress the judges in this fight. Kyle Bochniak by decision. Moving down, let's see what we got here. Maybe we'll move on to the prelims, see if we want to highlight a couple fights on here. Quick picks, Claudia Gadelha, Nina Ansaroff, she's training with the champion, her girl, Amanda Nunes. That's definitely big right there. Got a bigger, stronger champion to train with at all times. That's going to help you, especially in these fights where you're fighting smaller girls. But Claudia Gadelha is a very physically imposing, strong pressure fighter. She likes to throw bombs, and she looks like she's strong in there, usually more physically strong than her opponents. Her ground game's improving, but it's not the best. But Nina Ansaroff seems to be fast on the feet. She's a southpaw. She throws a lot of high volume crisp strikes, and I could see her coming out with the decision in this fight. I'm gonna go with Ansaroff by decision. Let's check the early prelims here. I guess that's all I'm gonna go over for now. I usually like to just highlight the fights that I'm most interested in, and then I'll make some quick picks. So we got Holloway by either TKO or decision. We got Shevchenko by decision. We got Gunnar Nelson by submission. We got Kyle Bochniak by decision. Jimmy Manuwa versus Thiago Santos. I'm gonna go with Manuwa by knockout. Moving on to the prelims. Gadelia versus Ansaroff. I'm going to go with Ansaroff by decision. Let's see. Who do we got next? Who do we got next? Yeah, and if Ansaroff can get that win, man, she's moving herself up there to get in title contention, which is kind of cool. Champion and champion. With her and her partner, Amanda Nunes. That would be pretty cool to see. This shit's loading right now. Let's see. And in case you're wondering, I ain't doing no cocaine. I always got the fucking sniffles. I got a deviated septum here trying to breathe. It ain't easy, man, getting punched in the face. But, alright, so here we are. Alban Mercier versus Gilbert Burns. I'm going to go with Burns by TKO. Caitlin Chukagian versus Jessica I am going to go with Chukagian by decision. She knows how to use her range and use her striking to outpoint these girls and get a decision win. Elias Theodorou versus Eric Anders. I'm going to go with Eric Anders by TKO. Although Theodorou's a really hard guy to fight. He's very elusive in there and great movement, good at avoiding stuff. But I think Eric Anders is going to eventually pressure him and get that TKO. Brad Katona moving down from 145 to fight Matthew Lopez. Lopez coming off a couple hard-fought losses. But he has way more experience. He's fought the higher level competition. I'm going to have to go with Matthew Lopez by decision. Chad Laprise, Diego Lima. I'm going to go with Chad Laprise by TKO. Diego Ferreira, Kyle Nelson. I'm going to go with Diego Ferreira submission. Devin Clark, Alexander Rakic. I'm going to go with Devin Clark by decision. And so that's my picks for the fight card. I'm excited. Keep your fucking fingers crossed. Hopefully Holloway stays healthy till the fight, you know. I'm really excited. I love watching him fight. The 10th Island, baby! 10th Island! The best is blessed. So with that, this is the Boom Breakdown. I'll see you guys next time. I'll see you guys hopefully in Vegas for my fight, UFC 229. Wait. UFC 232. What the fuck am I saying? Yeah, UFC 232, Vegas, December 29th. That's where I get the 29 from. I hope to see you guys there. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find me on social media, BrianBoom135 on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks for checking me out. We'll see you guys next time. Boom! Chill.